Okay, g'day everyone. We are here with the Open Hearth Gaming Community to play a game called Oh Captain, My Captain by James D'Amato. Thank you, Zoom Blur, for hiding that. It's a game that comes in a little deck, which is cool, and it's based on For the Queen by Alex Roberts. Is that right? Does anybody know? My name is Mike. I use he, him pronouns. Can I just run around the table and get everybody to introduce yourself? Starting with Lowell.
My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and I haven't even played For the Queen, so I'm very excited to try this.
Annie?
Yeah, I'm Annie, she, her. I haven't played either one of those either, so I'm really curious to see how this goes.
And Rod?
Yeah, I'm Rod Hehan. I have played for the Queen. And I'm very curious how this is similar and different.
Cool. I also haven't played either game before. I was hoping to catch somebody that had played For the Queen before so that they could compare and contrast for me. I've heard For the Queen played, but I haven't had a chance to play it. It sounds awesome, and this game also sounds awesome. So what is this game? This is a game where we're part of a crew led by a legendary captain. Recently, we've fallen on hard times of some description, and the captain has emerged with a plan that promises to turn everything around. This is going to require a perilous journey where the captain must be accompanied by a small landing party. We've been selected for that party because the captain knows that we believe in them. This is a world-building game. We're going to take turns answering prompts from a deck of cards, and through doing that, we will learn more about the captain, the world, and ourselves. And then, as everybody answers a prompt card, you will be then we'll open up the table to follow-up questions from the other players around the table. The game recommends that for a 1 hour game, we should be aiming to get through about 12 cards. So with 4 players, because this is a GM-less game, so I'm a player as well, that works out to be about 3 questions each, 3 prompts each. And at the end of that, there will be an ominous decision card that we will hit. And I will tell you all about it when we get to that card. In terms of tone, I have seen For the Queen played a number of different ways. I've seen it played silly, I've seen it played serious. Because this is a game about answering prompts about relationships with other people, it could be sort of deeply introspective. But I kind of wanted to establish with the table, do you have strong feelings about tone? Are you more interested in a sillier game or in a more serious game? So throw it back out to the table in the same order again, Lola, Annie, Rod.
I think I my lean is towards serious, but not grim. I think would be my feel.
Yeah, that's where I'd go. Also, not ridiculous, not grim, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think we'll bring the humor will come in naturally or not. So yeah.
Okay, that works for me as well. I think that's about where I land. I mentioned earlier that we're playing for the Open Hearth Gaming Community, which means that the game is covered by the Open Hearth Community Code of Conduct document. Part of that is that we will play with a set of safety tools to make sure that everybody at the table is having a good time. I'm going to use a layered set of safety tools, which is a pretty common practice within the Open Hearth, starting with the open door policy. So the open door policy is there if you need to step away from the table for any reason, if you need a drink, if you need to answer a phone call, if a cat wanders into the room and starts meowing at you very loudly, which happens to me frequently because I'm house sitting a cat, then by all means, take that moment to step away, do whatever you need to do. If you're going to be away for an extended period of time, we would appreciate it if you let us know if you're coming back. However, that's not required. Um, the other part of the open door policy is that if for whatever reason we start playing this game and you feel like it's not for you and that you don't feel like there's anything that the table can do to make it a more enjoyable experience for you, you are free to walk away from the game. We are here to play a game and have fun. We're not sort of conducting life-saving surgery. So you're not committed to be here if you feel like you don't need to be. On top of the open door policy, I intend to take a break somewhere in the middle. So we have a 2-hour session booked. The game is sort of listed at a 1-hour playtime, but I suspect people in the Open Hearth are talky folk that want to dive into some topics. So we'll see how we go. But we should be able to take a break for 5-10 minutes somewhere in the middle. That's helpful for me because I know that once I start getting into these games, I tend to ignore all the signals from my body that say, Mike, you really need to stretch or get a drink. So that's helpful for everybody. The game comes with a safety tool built in. It's a common one, so you probably heard of it. It's the X card. It has a lovely X card in the box with instructions on the back. That card is there in case we encounter any content that makes you uncomfortable or is otherwise going to make the game unfun for you. So anytime that happens, feel free to make an X symbol with your hands if you've got your video on. Say X, say anything to stop the game. We can have a quick chat about what it is that we need to remove from the game, and then we will remove it. Importantly, while we may ask clarifying questions around what we're going to remove from the game, we won't ask why. Sometimes this can be because you find something uncomfortable or yeah. So to give an example, I live in Australia, which is full of creepy crawlies that I don't find troubling at all, but I know that sometimes when those things get mentioned, it can make people's skin literally crawl. So that might be a thing that would be X-carded out. However, don't reserve the X card for things like that. It can also be that we've named a key NPC after your spouse, which can be a weird and sort of troubling thing to try and deal with in the moment. So feel free to call out anything that is making the game unfun for you. The game doesn't include lines and veils, but I'm going to share a link with everybody so that we can try and establish some. This is the sort of last safety tool that I have. And let me find out where the share link is because I've shrunk that window down and now it's not showing. Okay, now we've got it. And I will share it in the Zoom chat. For anybody that hasn't encountered lines and veils before, this is a safety tool that allows people to identify content up front and categorize it into the way we want to include or exclude it from the game. So anything that is listed as a line will not appear in the game at all. Anything that is listed as a veil can appear in the game, but we won't focus on it. It kind of happens just off camera, as it were. There's 2 other columns there for ask first and yes please, because I borrowed this lines and veils tab from another game. But if there is something that falls into those categories, feel free to check those boxes. There's also a section at the bottom for anything, for you to write in anything. So if there's anything up front that you're aware of, please include it in there. As I said, the game doesn't include this safety tool out of the box, but it also has to fit in a deck of cards, and I'm not sure how easily they would have been able to fit that in. And I did consider just running with just the X card, which is kind of how the game comes, but I don't really want to run into things that make people feel uncomfortable if we can identify them up front. So once everybody's had a shot at filling that in, and I'm just going to run through and throw some things in. The other thing that I did want to add about lines and veils is that this is also a layered safety tool. So if something is veiled and lined, then it is lined. Then it is out. Thank you, Rod. If I can get people to drop done into the chat once they've finished going through everything. All right, and that's everybody. So we have lines around dental horror, harm to pet animals, homophobia, racism, sexism, sexual assault or violence, torture by PCs, and transphobia. Those things will not appear in our game. We have veils around consensual sexual activity and harm to children. And we have an ask first around mind control and loss of autonomy for PCs. If at any point during the game something occurs to you that you want to add to this list, feel free to do so. If you notice that any of us are approaching one of these things, feel free to X card that early so that we don't run into those. Any questions around the game, around the safety tools? Any of that before we move on? Okay, cool. So I have a set of story cards that kind of lead us into the game. Normally what we would do is we would kind of set up the deck in advance and then pass this around the table so that everybody could read from it. Unfortunately, I have a physical copy of the game and not a digital copy, which makes it more difficult to do that. It would be awesome if I could hand it out of frame and then somebody could grab it and pull it back in, but I don't know how to organize that. That technology doesn't exist yet. So, by reading the story cards aloud, players recount the background story of the game. Every crew has a legendary captain, and in every game sees that crew starting in a desperate circumstance, chasing a prize that should set everything right. That prize will be determined by the crew over the course of the game, with no one player fully stating what it is until the decision card is presented. The details of what your captain, crew, and world look like are flexible. At the start of the story, the most important fact to establish is that you believe in the captain. Good luck. We are all part of a crew led by a legendary captain. Recently, our crew has fallen on hard times. We have taken losses and missed opportunities, and our resources are dwindling. Some have even begun to whisper about mutiny. The captain emerges with a plan to claim a marvelous prize. They insist it will turn everything around and reward everyone on the crew beyond their wildest dreams. However, this prize requires a perilous journey to claim, and the captain insists that to acquire the prize, they need to lead a small expedition composed of a chosen few. We know we've been selected for this group for one reason. The captain knows that as we all depart on this adventure, we believe in them. Okay. Now, the box comes with some cards with gorgeous artwork of various captains of different types. I don't have an easy way to share that with everyone. So I have a few different options. I can draw one at random and we can kind of say that is our captain. Or we can make up a captain with a few quick questions, which is it's not necessarily in the rulebook, but the rulebook says that the picking a captain from cards is optional. So I guess, yeah, which way do we want to go?
Oh, I'd love to at least start with a card, like a picture for us to frame from, if nobody objects.
Yeah, I like cards as a starting point.
Yeah. Just a random, and then we can work from there.
All right, here is our random captain. Let's see if I can get this. Awesome.
Okay.
Is it showing up on the camera okay?
Yeah.
Can I get it closer without it blurring out?
So it's a
Like
cheerleader.
captain.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, this is one of the things that the game does is that the kind of, I think, default idea of captain when somebody says captain is like a ship captain, either a spaceship or a pirate ship or one of those things. But it could be a fire captain. It could be a sports team captain.
I love it.
Are we interested in playing with a cheerleader captain, or do we want to attempt something else?
I spoke for drawing the cards, so I'll let Rod and Annie make the call on that.
I have
Rod, do
not
you have
seen.
ahead.
I have not seen Yellow Jackets, but that was the first thing that came to mind. If you're not familiar with it, it's the it's like a girls' team, sports team, or a bunch of teenagers crash, kind of like a Lord of the Flies thing, where they get shipwrecked.
Hmm.
Um,
So
I'm game for anything. Yeah.
yeah. Something like that could work. I know I had this suggestion in there of like a sports team captain. I'm not as interested in like a sports competition.
Mhm.
But I could see either a sports team or some other kind of youth group stranded in a situation that we have to find our way out of.
Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. Um, we don't have to establish anything specific about the canon, and one of the things that the game is careful to mention is that no details are canon until spoken by the players. And that includes sort of what the captain looks like, uh, the pronouns that the captain uses, and any of that stuff is all open to the table to kind of agree upon as we answer prompts. Okay. The next step is got a big stack of question cards. These are the prompts that we're going to answer throughout the game. So I'm going to take 12 of these. Trying not to count out loud as I go. Okay, so I've got 12 and then a decision card, and then that creates the starting deck. And then we're ready to play. So the way this will work is I'm going to draw a question card. And again, ordinarily we would hand the deck around the table and do this, but it's difficult online. I'll draw a question card for the current player, read it out loud. Then that player will answer that question, which will be about their relationship with the captain in some way, shape, or form. And then the other players will ask follow-up questions. If you receive a question that you feel doesn't really resonate with you, or that you are not interested in answering, or you're more interested in seeing another character answer that question, you can attempt to hand it off. They can accept it, or they can also attempt to hand it off. If one of the other players around the table answers the question, then we just basically skip their next turn. It becomes sort of, that is their question for the round. And then we come back to you and you get the next question. If we attempt to hand a question off to everyone around the table and nobody takes it, then we can throw that card away and we'll draw another card from the bottom of the deck. So if there's a question in there that doesn't sound fun, we don't have to deal with it. We can move on to a different question. I would like to not go first because I've now been talking for 25 minutes. And but are we otherwise happy with the order I was going through before with Lowell, Annie, Rod, and then I'll bring it back around to me.
Sure.
So Lowell, the first question is for you. You are responsible for one of the captain's scars. How do you feel when they tell the story?
For the captain's
Scars.
scars. I think that is clearly, if we're talking a cheer or pep or anything of that kind of team, that is a case of a screw up on my part, a a throw in the air or a lift on the shoulders or a timing issue where I wasn't in the place I was supposed to be. And I think my loyalty in part comes from the fact that I was not called out. I was not punished for that. I was not pulled on the table and dressed down, and like that certainly it's a mix of guilt and relief that fuels the loyalty there. And certainly when I see the scars, I remember that.
Let's do follow-up questions in table order to stop everybody from talking over each other. So, Annie, do you have any follow-up questions to that?
I guess the original question asked, how do you feel when they tell the story? So is this a story they do tell, or are you
Oh yeah,
negating
that's a good
that?
point. I think they tell the story and they do that thing where they make it sound like it was their fault.
Yeah.
You know, and other people might look at that and say, okay, that does seem like they're bringing it back around and maybe kind of poking. Uh, but I don't take it that way. I take it as a relief that I am not called out in that story, and we're making light of it, so it becomes part of the oral tradition that we have.
Yes.
How visible is the scar?
Uh, I, I like to imagine that it's one of those things where now they have to wear high socks, uh, you know, even though those might not be particularly appropriate, that it's, it's a leg thing they came down on, that if they don't have the high socks on, it's pretty bad.
Have you noticed the captain taking any steps to ensure that they can't be hurt in the same way again?
I think that there may be that bit where more often than before does everybody have their timing set? And maybe you'll glance at me. That goes on.
Any other follow-up questions? Alrighty. Then I have the next card for Annie. Who on this crew do you feel is least deserving of the captain's trust? How are you prepared to move against them?
So here's the question. Do I build on that, or do I go another way? Don't really have anything else to build on yet. So I'll follow Lowell's lead on that. That I'm one of the ones that does feel like this is a very pointed. The captain is taking it on. I'm going to give her pronouns. I'm going to go with the picture. The captain is taking it on herself, to say that this was her fault. And I don't necessarily think that she should do that. And I think she's maybe being a little bit too trusting there. But I'm not going to challenge her on that, but I am going to be particularly watchful. And maybe if I see another error about to happen, I'll call it out, or I'll be ready to step in.
Do you think you're the only one who feels that way, or is there a couple of people that feel that way? Like, what's the consensus amongst the rest of the crew?
I don't think we talk about it very openly because nobody wants to come out and say, oh, the captain's being too trusting. I think there's one or two other people that I'm pretty sure of, just from shared glances and comments. And the rest of the crew, I maybe assume that they agree with me, but I don't have much to base that on.
Aside from that break in trust, are there any other emotions that you feel?
I think there's a lot of emotions. I think a good chunk of it is wanting to be noticed, wanting to be acknowledged. Um, Maybe I want some of that public trust because I'm doing it right. Not necessarily saying it all ties to that incident. That could come from other sources as well, but um, yeah, that I'm doing it right. I want that to be noticed.
Is there anyone else you're prepared to move against?
Um, I guess it's kind of a table question. I don't. Are we cool with putting that on anybody without having something to build off of? Um,
You can build up
or
an NPC, that's cool too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I, you,
Um,
you,
Go
you,
ahead.
I could also see answering the question without naming anyone specifically. It's a yes, there's one other, or uh, yes, there's many sort of situation.
Right.
However you want to do it.
Um, I'll kind of take a combo of those. Yeah, let's do add an NPC. There's a youngin somewhere in the troop, who is very obviously still learning and struggling. But also I'm just kind of generally on edge about everybody.
Any other follow-ups? Okay, thank you, Annie. We have a question for Rod. The captain once spared you from a punishment that would have been expected for any other member of the crew. Why?
Oh, because I'm her brother and I'm doing her a favor uh, uh, by joining this because a lot of guys don't feel it's just a woman's uh, thing, or it's predominantly women, and a lot of guys are feeling shy about it or whatever. Um, so I think with my gymnastic skills, she kind of almost begged me to join. So if I'm late or don't show up to practice, uh, there's not really a punishment.
Does she know how you really feel about this activity?
No. She doesn't know I enjoy it.
Uh, is there anyone on the crew that kind of gives you a hard time for being the brother? Like maybe you're the Nepo baby on the crew kind of thing? Or is that ignored?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think maybe this her as second in command, whoever that is, probably is very disapproving, but doesn't confront me directly. It's more like the looks than the eye rolls and uh, whispers to my sister.
What I'm wondering about is what is at stake here? What is it that she's trying to achieve, or maybe a hint of that? We don't have to define it fully yet. That is important enough that she would ask for this help.
I think she is trying to live up to um, one of our parents' legacy. Uh, in this This might not be known to most of the cheerleaders. Any follow-up? Any other questions? Or...
I don't think so. Not yet. That's juicy though. Okay, one for me. The captain once gave you a reward that filled the crew with jealousy. Why was the captain's blessing worth the crew's scorn? I think I just really look up to her and I really value her opinion over the opinion of everyone else on this crew. One day, I want to be her. I want to be just like her. And anybody that gets in my way trying to do that, they're not worth my time.
What do you have that's the physical representation of the reward that you got?
I'm trying to decide between it being that I literally got whatever it was tattooed on me. But I kind of want to leave open the option to lose it at some point in the story. So I think it's an item of clothing that she gave me, like a her first sort of uniform, like a top of some description. I don't know what they call the uniform for the Cheer Squad.
I think top is right. I think that.
Okay.
Works. What was it that that won that reward? So that doesn't seem like something official. If that was the prize, that seems like something she called out on her own.
I think she saw how hard I was working to improve. I think she found me practicing outside of the normal practice times.
Mm.
And she told me to go easy on myself, that everyone starts somewhere. And she gave me this the next day.
What's a change that you've made in your appearance or dress to be more similar to the captain?
I think I dyed my hair to match hers. I haven't been brave enough yet to get the same haircut. Any other follow-up questions? Okay. That's one round of 3. Are we all right to do one more round and then potentially have a break, or do we want to have a break now and come back after that?
I'm good either way.
I'm good.
Okay, let's do one more round. Back around to Lowell then. The captain has a tattoo that no one else on the crew has seen. When did you see it, and what does it mean?
I think that, it is one of those things where it's the kind of thing you only see in the showers, and she's clearly aware of it being, uh, a source of perhaps gossip. I think that she had a bad boy boyfriend that none of us approved of. But of course, no one wanted to call her out on it. And they broke up. And I think that she's embarrassed by the fact that she got that tattoo. She's embarrassed by the fact that she didn't listen to us, and maybe feels a little bit that showing that or revealing that would undercut her ability to kind of give us advice, because I'm pretty sure the captain gives us relationship advice, pointed relationship advice. So I think I saw it and I haven't said anything. Um, and certainly won't.
I don't know that I have a follow-up to that.
Okay.
I think it makes sense.
What's it a tattoo?
Oh, I think uh, I think he was a goth bad boy, so it's like a black butterfly kind of thing, with like a pin through it, kind of dark goth thing that really is both dumb and embarrassing at the same time.
Do you think people's trust in the captain would be undermined if they became aware of this tattoo?
I think that there are, not amongst the loyalists like us, but some of the others who might use that as a wedge issue, might use that as a thing to gossip around. I think that the captain has in the past orchestrated some whispering campaigns, and I think that those birds would come home to roost if that got seen by the wrong people.
I potentially have a follow-up to that one.
Okay.
Anything for you guys?
I do have something that actually, do we think that either this boyfriend or other connections of his might be still around? And that might be a direction some of the gossip might go, questioning the captain's loyalty.
Absolutely. I think actually one of the newer members is involved with him now, and everybody's rolling their eyes, and she may not realize that this guy used to go with the captain or anything like that. I think that's a whole thing that people are waiting for that to blow up.
Yeah. 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 That might be the newbie I don't trust for other reasons also.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that secretly hopes it's me.
Yep.
If I'm trying to be the captain. I wanted to ask, do you believe the captain is strong enough to weather it if this were to become known?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have to believe that. I have to believe that she is. Like she has to be able to. So I think it's as much as anything, I'm convincing myself completely that it has to be the case.
I have a question. Well, as far as you know, what's the story of the breakup? Who dumped who, etc.
Oh, I think it's unclear. Like we haven't been told. Like don't think she talks about it. I think the rumor is that he cheated on her, but no one wants to ask, no one wants to have that conversation.
It's just indisputably his fault, regardless of what the details
Absolutely,
are.
100%. Can't be her
Really?
fault.
I know maybe a microcosm of detail about this person, and I hate them.
Yeah.
I have no further questions. Anybody else? Okay.
Awesome.
Then the next question is for Annie. What did the captain tell you that filled you with hope in a dark hour?
Ooh. I think there was an instance where it wasn't exactly clear that I messed up, but something happened that obviously didn't work between me and a couple of other people. Or we thought it didn't work. It wasn't the formation we were supposed to do. And the captain came to us afterwards, and I thought we were gonna get the kind of very patient coaching talking to that she does, where she doesn't put it on you, and that feels worse. And instead, she talked about what a innovative thing that was that we did, and we should incorporate it in our routines. And she's gonna write it up, chart it out, and we're gonna practice it and see if we can't build something off of that. And then actually went and did it. So I still feel like I screwed that up, but the captain turned it into a good thing and made it into something much cooler than what we did by accident. And that makes me feel that she can get us out of anything.
Um, Given how it turned out, if you could go back and change things, would you?
That's one of those really interesting questions. I think if somebody were to ask that, or if I'm thinking about that consciously myself, then no, of course not, because it all came out for the better. Privately, yeah, I kind of would. Do you not like that feeling?
Was it entirely kind of on your shoulders that it went this way? Or was there someone in the group that kind of pushed you kind of, oh, you should take this risk, you should go and try this kind of thing?
I think it was on me. I think it was um I maybe wasn't even sure that some of the others could handle it, but I was pretty sure that I could, and that I could carry it off and carry them. And I maybe overestimated a little bit what I could do.
You suspect that someone was happy initially, that it looked like it failed?
Um, I don't know if happy is the right word, but um, yeah, I did feel like there was a lot of see, I knew it, told you so kind of thing coming from the peanut gallery. And I honestly couldn't say how much of that is in my head versus something I'm really seeing.
What has the captain done to help you to try again in the future?
Um, I think the captain has been just aggressively normal. Like, cutting off if there are doubts, if there are caveats that I ever try to put out there, there are too many precautions. She'll cut that off and say, no, let's just do this. We can do this, and just keep it moving, and not let that fester.
No, Rod, any further follow-ups on that one?
I'm good.
Okay.
Cool.
Next one is for Rod. The captain betrayed someone you knew well. Who was it, and where are they now?
Oh, wow. Um, well, I think that'd be the faculty advisor or the previous faculty advisor who was also the coach for the gymnastics team team of the school team. Um, when she complained to the principal that the advisor was not was not giving uh, was not treating the cheerleaders seriously, uh, and not really devoting their time uh, to overseeing them.
The second part of that question was, where are they now?
Oh, where are they now? uh, they are. Oh, they're in another school. They quit because yeah, yeah. I think there were a lot of yeah. I think there's some rumors spread or and stories ruined. Uh, he she no longer felt comfortable being at the school.
How was your sister doing that? Like informing and getting the advisor trouble. How is that an indirect uh punch back at your mom and your mom's expectations?
Oh, because our mom is very what's the word? She has a very regimented thinking that, people have their spot. You don't talk up to the person above you, especially not another adult. Um, so that's something she's tried to ingrain in us.
Um, so I know we talked about living up to expectations, living up to family. Um, what is kind of the external symbol of that? Like I almost feel like we're in a teen movie now where it's save the part from development or something like that. I don't think it's quite that, but what is the captain using her platform to drive forward, to promote?
Could you repeat the first part?
So we talked about living up to expectations and you were building on that a bit here. It seems like if the captain wanted to remove this advisor, there's something concrete she's trying to accomplish. Like, is it a championship? Is it a sponsorship trying to get visibility? All kinds of things.
Uh, I'm worried that um, I'm worried that she didn't think the advisor was. I think she was honest. Like she didn't think the advisor was giving them enough time. The cheerleading group, and I'm worried that my sister is using the cheerleading squad not for anything as grand as school spirit, but for personal reasons. Um, and I'm worried she's trying to elevate herself so she can get that boyfriend back.
That's fun.
Could you do what she did? And if you could, would you?
Would I do what she did? Yeah, only if the advisor was doing something extremely, in my opinion, wrong, which I don't think was the case. Um, but I don't think I've done anything like that before. Um, so in a way, I'm angry at my sister because I knew the gymnastics coach, but I'm also impressed at how bold she is. I was depositing a cat, just I was moving backwards.
There's always one. All right, I have a follow up on that one then. Have you told her either of those feelings? That
Yeah,
you're
we've
angry and
fought.
impressed.
I've definitely show my anger about it. I don't think I don't think I've told her that I was impressed.
No, adding any further?
I don't have anything else.
I'm good.
Okay. Okay. This one's for me. You
Okay.
suspect the captain is preparing you for something. What is it? And do you feel ready? I mean, what I want it to be. I think she's preparing to finish school. And someone has to be the new captain, right? And why couldn't it be me? I but I'm not ready for it yet. But I will be when that time comes.
What signs might others see that she's trying to let you down easy?
I think she constantly encourages me to only engage with the training and practice that the others are doing. And when I try and go over the top, she reins that in.
Nice.
How much of that expectation do you think leaks out to the rest of the troop? And what kind of reaction comes back?
I think a lot of that expectation does leak out. I don't think I'm able to hide that. And I think there is a fair amount of I don't know if disappointment is the right word, but people they're kind of a little bit frustrated with it, but also it's a little bit sad. Like people are the rest of the trip kind of look on and go, one day this is gonna this person's gonna explode when they figure it out. And they feel bad about that, but they don't really know what to do about it because they see the captain trying to rein in that expectation, and I'm interpreting that as attention and focus.
I'm saying something would only cause it to blow up sooner. Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe that's it. Maybe everyone is expecting that the captain will find a way to handle this gracefully because they don't know how.
Yeah, of course, the captain knows how to handle it better than we would.
What's something you've sacrificed for the captain, uh, so that you can concentrate on cheerleading?
I'll go semi-autobiographical with that. I gave up playing the piano. It was a thing that I enjoyed, but it wasn't the thing I loved, you know? It wasn't what I was meant to do.
How do you know that I would be willing to go full Tanya Harding uh, uh, on you if I thought that your ambition was getting in the way, like that you were going to bring the captain down? Is it glances? Is it a note? Is it whispers?
No, I think maybe we've had a confrontation in the locker room in the past. I think we both said some hurtful things. Maybe some ill-advised things, and I think you I accused you of hurting the captain on purpose. And that you want her spot. That you want my
Nice.
spot. Any other follow-ups?
I don't have any more questions.
No further questions. All right. That brings us to about an hour of playtime. Let's take a quick break. Let's do 10 minutes and come back at 10-ish minutes. Come back at 15:15.
Sounds good.
I will pause the recording. And we're back. So we have one more round of questions to go. And we're back around to Lol. Lol. What moment in your history with the captain do you constantly replay in your mind? How would you do things differently now?
I think it is that being out of place for that fall. And I think it is the fact that maybe I was a little slow because she had said something to me earlier in the day that had bugged me and it stuck in my head. And maybe I still question whether I maybe did the script deliberately. Like, I don't think I did, but I'm still like second guessing. And like, absolutely now, if I could take that back and redo that, it would absolutely be the thing that I would change.
Have you developed a pre-game ritual of some description to clear your mind and put yourself back in the right place to perform optimally?
Oh no, I think like that is outside of my ability. I think I am a ball of anxiety that is going to come crashing down at some point. That I stop and I overthink things and I'm nervous about that and I can't get a clear head yet. Any other follow-ups?
What did you say to you?
Yeah.
I think that I have been talking about uh like having lost some weight, and she said you don't need to lose weight, but it was said in a way that I read it as you're too skinny already. Like I I took it. I say to myself now that I took it the wrong way. Like I think it was that, um, and I'm sure that's another thing that I'm playing over and over in my head.
My first thought was, does anybody else remember, or did anyone else hear? But I think possibly more interesting, if you want to go this way, is what other thing have people filled into that blank that didn't actually have anything to do with it that you can't really refute?
I I think that uh, I had been late to practice a couple times that week and hadn't explained myself, and uh, uh, like like that lateness then got read in, when in fact it was my parents going through divorce and forcing me to go to like the therapist with them, for the divorce in a way that like was just get the divorce. I don't want to be involved in this kind of thing, and don't want to say anything, and certainly don't want to tell anyone in the squad kind of thing why I had to be late. And so people are, well, you were late then, and then you were late to your hold there.
Which that's very good.
How well do you think you've hidden your anxieties from the captain?
Oh, I think I've hidden them perfectly. I think I have hidden them perfectly. I think that I have my enthusiasm and desire to please and so on has certainly covered over all of that. There's no way that they could see through any of this facade because I am very smart.
An immediate follow-up question.
Emotionally mature as well.
What signs are you missing that the captain has noticed your anxiety and is trying to help you?
I think that uh, I think that I've become kind of OCD about my nails, uh, in a way, both kind of nail polish and nail care, but also the cuticles and things like that. Uh, that like over treatment and overworking them and so on, where you can really kind of go, uh, that. And I think that the captain has sometimes suggested, oh, well, you should skip on doing your treatments, and then we'll go and go out and we'll do a girl's pedicure or something like that, or manicure and things, and trying to like make hints about, hey, well, be careful, your nails are going to get broken doing this. You don't want to spend too much attention on it, kind of thing, without coming right out and saying.
I can imagine that just makes you focus on your nails even more, perhaps.
Absolutely.
The captain keeps pointing them out. Oh, heartbreaking. Annie, Rod, any further follow-ups? Okay, thank you all. Annie, you once stole from the captain. Who else knows the truth?
Um, I think this was before one of some big event or other. And the captain had done this thing of, okay, we've been working really hard. We're gonna do a mental health night off before the competition and set everybody at ease. And again, I'm not gonna say the captain's being too trusting or being too easy, but this really doesn't sit right with me. Because these people still aren't getting it right. We still aren't comfortable. So I think the thing that I stole was her notebook that has not only the moves, but also her notes and her strategy. Because I want to go study that separately. And if she's not going to make sure these people get it right, I am going to make sure that they get it right. And I think there was something about the notebook, the picture on it, or something distinct about it. I think her brother spotted it. And yeah, I think asked about it, but asked about it quietly, if that works for you. Um, like didn't raise it in front of people, and I made up something about, oh yeah, she wanted me to look at some things in there, and then we never said another word about it. And I don't think that notebook ever did find its way back to her, because that just would have been more embarrassing.
Uh, What what truth did you uncover in that notebook? Good, bad, or indifferent, but what did you find in there maybe that was a surprise to you?
Mm, honestly, I think I found a lot of the captain's little notes on everybody on the team that, where I thought she had missed that. No, she didn't. She's just not calling it out. No, she's recognizing that, okay, you're super anxious, so that, okay, that this person, you know, is super busy and is always rushing into practice late, or, whatever the thing is, she has all of that noted, but not in a critical way. And I don't know what to do with that.
What does the notebook say about my character? Or the captain's notes?
This is fun. Um, I think she is worried about leaning too much on you. Like, does this mean that she can't handle it herself? Does this mean that she can't do her own thing and has to lean on family for help? Um, and I think she even spelled out some logic in there, and this is one of those things that I don't know what to do with, where she's saying, I am trusting him to tell me if anything is wrong, if this is too much. But I can tell she's still not certain. And that's maybe a little bit different from some of the others. From most of the others, she seems pretty sure in her judgments and pretty confident, and this is the one where she's not.
you initially took this notebook to try and gain a deeper insight and understanding into how to make this crew work. Do you feel that you got that?
Yes and no. I feel like I got a better understanding on a technical level that I'm really drilling myself in. This is what all her signals mean. This is, you know, all of her notes on exactly where she wants to emphasize or how she wants to do the thing. I'm still not getting how she pulls everything together, how she pulls the team together, or how she makes those judgment calls on when to ease off and when to keep going. Because as much as I'm trying to take this information and use it to back her up and remind people and, you know, nudge people into the right place or whatever, it doesn't work the same way when I do it. And I don't know why.
Does that impress you or frighten you?
It frightens me in terms of I'm still not measuring up. There's a thing I should know and I don't know it. And I think it's beginning to be counterproductive. And that all of this, you know, reminding people and nudging people and it's making people pull away more or even distracting them more, not getting them to come together and get better.
What
I'm
is it
good.
that you think
Oh,
the
go on.
captain is doing that you're not able to see?
I have no idea. As far as I can tell, it's magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the scariest part.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Good.
Of course. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Will.
I'm good.
Oh, what did the captain write about you? Is it true?
Mm, I think with me, she noticed effort and working very hard. And she did notice the trying to get all the details right and trying to get everything right. Um, I don't think she said much as on an emotional level or on a personal level, or maybe she did and I missed it. Is whatever phrasing she used or whatever personal shorthand she used, I don't know it. So on the surface, it feels like it should be exactly that validation that I'm looking for, but doesn't quite feel right. Something's missing.
Okay. The next question is for Rod. The captain once summoned you to their quarters. How did that encounter change you?
Oh, I think so. I think this maybe just like right before like a big I don't think that we specified what kind of sport we were cheerleading for. I guess maybe it's not important, but right before a big game, and consequently we were giving a big performance. She called me in, and she just wanted to make sure that, um, yeah, she began with, I really appreciate, you being here. Um, but I need to know before we go into the big game, like where, you know, why did you do this? And is your head in the game? Is your heart in the game? And and I think it changed me because um I think it came out that I was being protective of her, which is something I don't think I was even conscious of. Um, and I challenged her as well, uh, that she wasn't just doing this to live up to the legacy that our mom had as when she was a cheerleader, way back when in our school. Um, and she got furious at me. I think this is like the most furious I've ever seen my sister get. And and I realized that, I've been reading everything wrong, and that she didn't want to live up to our parents' legacy. She didn't want to get her old boyfriend back, but that she was doing this for herself. I mean, to prove what she could do. And she believed in the team as well. I thought she needed to be there for them and wanted me to make sure that I was there for them as well.
You say she realized that you were protecting her. Did she figure out what your role was in breaking her up and her boyfriend?
Yeah. She realized I threatened him. Uh,
And what had you done?
what had I done?
What had you done to get that split happen?
Oh, oh, just simple, just physical violence. Uh, yeah, and I think maybe my character is observant like my sister is, and he noted some things about him that were dead on target and kind of intimidated the guy on a psychological level.
So when that happened, whatever happened in the past, um, did you have to come up with a cover story of, oh, that was a practice injury or something to explain some bruises that shouldn't have been there?
Oh, you mean like with my altercations with the boyfriend?
Altercation with the boyfriend that we carefully didn't ask about.
Oh, I mean, luckily I'm in gymnastics, so bruises happen all the time. Yeah.
Cool.
Do you think after this encounter with your sister that you are more or less inclined to withdraw your protection?
Uh, I think I I think I'm more inclined to be protective from more subtly protective, uh, protective from afar, or um, less obvious maybe. But I'm her brother, so that's not going to change.
Even if she maybe wouldn't want that?
Uh, I don't believe she doesn't want that. uh, or rather, I guess I frame it in like I'm there for her, and um That's, I guess, a little different than not trusting her to protect herself.
Now I'm wondering, are you the only one, or does she kind of have a little honor guard who are looking out for her that nobody's admitting to?
Oh, it sounds like your character is looking out for her.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. I think we have a little conspiracy going,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, and Lo's character
Mhm.
uh, and Mike too.
Any other follow-ups on that one? Thank you, Rod. This one's for me. What do you hope the captain sees when they look into your eyes? And what do you fear they will find instead? I hope that they will see how much I truly honor what it is that they do for the entire team. That this is not about cheerleading, it's about people. But I fear that they will see the selfishness that I have around that goal. That I do see how well they're able to guide people, but maybe I would not have the best of intentions when I try and guide people.
We talked about the captain kind of being shaped by her mother's expectations. How much of what you've just said about yours is shaped by your family's expectations or interactions, do you think?
I think probably a lot. I think all of the powerful people in my life have been manipulators. And while on the surface, I hate that, it is the only way that I know to feel in control of a situation. And I think I probably lack the self-awareness to have figured that out yet.
Nice.
What did you see in her eyes when she looked at you?
I think I saw that she was willing to guide me. And I think I saw that she was willing to guide me not because she needed me to be something, but because she could see a better version of me. And that's something I hadn't seen before.
The question doesn't really specify how general or if it's talking about one specific incident. Whenever this happened with that hope and that fear, is that something that you let happen, or something that you would try to avoid letting her see?
think I try and avoid letting her see that, but it comes out naturally in the way that I'm dismissive of the other people in the crew. That I'm so focused on trying to win her approval that I'm not interested in making a connection with the others. Or at least the kind of connection that I'm trying to make with the others is that I want them to see me the way she sees me. But I clearly don't know how to do that. So I'm trying to be awesome, so they'll see how awesome I can be. But I'm unable to be vulnerable and open to feedback from them. Any other follow-ups? Okay. That brings us to the decision card. The journey is nearly complete, and the prize can be seen on the horizon. As a group, define the true nature of the prize, each describing one detail. You will then collectively determine what the prize is.
And do you think it has to be like a cheer competition? Like it has to be a big performance competition that we're going to?
Yeah. Um, I think it's something that is a qualifier for something else. I don't want to say a scholarship. I don't quite like that direction, but some kind of position as a representative or public face of an organization or something that's going to give recognition that she would be eligible for, more so than just winning the competition. This will let her be fill in the blank. And that, more than even winning, is the validation we're trying to get for her.
I was going to suggest, and I don't know whether or not this maybe opens it up to being more petty than I want it to be, that the opposing team is being captained by the previous faculty advisor.
Oh, that's perfect.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That doesn't
This
have to
is-
go the petty direction. That could go multiple directions.
Right. So maybe this is a chance to validate that with more time and attention, the Cheer Squad was able to accomplish more to get us to this point.
I mean, I think it's the prize is only as valuable as she thinks, is only as valuable as it affects the members of her team. So that in winning it, we can, face our insecurities or our worries or our doubts. So yeah, it's what it represents. It's what it symbolizes.
Okay. Before we move to claim the prize, we have to vote to what we believe is the most important truth that we've learned about the captain. There are 3 basic options, and in the game, this is supposed to be a simultaneous vote. So I've sent the list of options to the chat. So we'll give a thumbs down if you believe the captain is strong or wicked, a flat hand if you believe the captain is weak or foolish, and a thumbs up if the captain is wise or righteous. Think on that for a moment. And then I'll do a count of 3, and everybody can... I guess we all have video on, so we can all probably just do it on camera.
Right.
Okay, everyone ready? So on 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, majority thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay. If the thumbs up have it read ending 3. There are 4 endings potentially to this, depending on whether or not we get majority in one of those 3 or if there's no clear majority. So ending 3. The night before we go to claim the prize, a stranger approaches. They accuse your captain of vile crimes and claim the captain is a deceiver who will ultimately corrupt or betray you. Knowing that the most dangerous trial lies ahead, do you still follow the captain into the breach?
I think absolutely. I probably have to be restrained from kneecapping a stranger kind of thing, like get physically upset that such an accusation has been made. I think like a good deal of my self-identity turns on her, my identifying her as righteous. So I think I have to press forward into that.
I think our little honor guard may come together to make sure the stranger leaves immediately, if not more. Somebody is using this to attack her and bring her down.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change anything for me. Well, now I'm curious who the stranger is and who they work for.
Are they affiliated with that boyfriend?
Yeah.
Or the other coach?
Or the
Or the other
coach.
coach? Somebody from the other team. That feels right. Somebody from the other team.
I think it gives me a moment of doubt. And not in so much in the captain, because I don't believe they could do what they're being accused of, but in myself, because I believe I could. And that makes me question whether or not I ever want to be in a position where I have the opportunity. And then I look to the captain and I realize that if ever I am in that position, I'll know what to do. Because they will have shown me the way first. And that is Oh Captain, My Captain. Thank you very much, everybody. That was an unexpected experience for me.
Yeah, that was not what I was expecting either, but it really came together.
Right. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. We've got sort of 10 minutes left in the session time that was slotted. I would love to do a round of stars and wishes. You are muted.
You muted.
It's really
someone has to do it
interesting
in
to
every
me.
session.
Yeah.
So.
Because I did buy the game. I have a couple of these card-based games that I've picked up that I got like just before the pandemic. So
Mhm.
I had to take to conventions and things like that. So it's really interesting to me. It is the kind of thing I like. Like I like a GM-less structured narrative building game, like one that has, and prompts are great. I like that. And it's a nice tight form factor. And the idea of switching it over to kind of being captains and varying that out, I think that's really interesting. I know there's some other variations on it. But this is really nice. I liked it. And as everyone else has said, not what I was expecting. I've been watching One Piece and Korean pirate films and stuff recently, and playing Rapscallion. So I kind of had that in my head, and then I love that it turned like and it worked even with that turn. So I think that's great. And everybody was dynamite. So what can I say about that?
It throws me a little, and I've noticed this before watching For the Queen being played, that how very non-narrative it is at the beginning. That we're answering these intimate character questions with zero context around them, and then building up from there instead of building down from something already defined. And it did come together beautifully in the end, and we came to that last question, and there was no hesitation in those answers. We all knew exactly where our characters were going to come down on that, even without that context. So, not saying that it doesn't work, but it almost a kind of white room syndrome at first, and that is different from what you see in a lot of other games. And I don't quite know what to make of that yet. I did love the directions everybody took with it, though. Even without that kind of context or direction, we ended up with such a neat mix of characters and dynamics that we could build off of.
Yeah, it feels like we have the cast of a movie or a TV show, but just with no names. Like we never had to name anybody. Everybody knew who we were talking about in any given moment. It's great.
Bring it on 8, bring it on. So something like that.
Yeah, what everyone said. I really like how it's we're discovering the stories and our characters at the same time, which is very interesting. Like pretty much everything else, the majority of the games are character. You create your character. You already have the premise, and that's at the starting point. But I like, yeah, I liked how everyone developed their characters. I like all the things people introduced. The goth bad boy boyfriend that level brought in. Um, you know, the insecurities and um and yeah, how you didn't trust people, yeah, Lowell's character and other people in the group. And then it turns out you didn't really trust the captain in a way because you stole her notebook because she was taking things too easy on people. I thought that was cool. Um, uh, and then Mike, yeah, that with the character who gave like the hero worship was very cool. I like the thing at the very end where um you're looking to the captain to know what to do to find out what your character would do in that position. That's very cool. Um, so I wonder if that's something if you play this again or if we play this again, like having after a round or two questions give our character names, just so we. But I mean, it was fine either way.
Yeah, it would be interesting to use this as a prequel into something else.
Mm.
Yeah, I am impressed with how the game unfolds as a discussion of leadership and kind of team building, and it kind of it's such a portable context because I think that is a thing that everyone in their lives has encountered good leaders and bad leaders, and they've tried to be leaders and they've done it poorly or better, or they've improved. I think that it's a theme that fits in well with everybody, and it does build quite an emotional kind of story. I think other than the kind of theming of it, one of the big differences from For the Queen is that decision card at the end, because I believe For the Queen doesn't have a vote. It just kind of gets to the end and says the Queen is attacked. Do you defend her? Is kind of the and my concern going into this, knowing that there is this kind of okay, stop, everybody vote for how you feel about the captain, and then we'll go look up a table somewhere and pull out a thing. That would put a speed bump in that kind of that beautiful ending that For the Queen tends to have, as it's a very simple question and people go around the table and answer it. But it was quick enough and simple enough, and by the time we got to it, all of our characters had pretty strong opinions on the captain. And I think, given the responses that we'd had, everyone probably could have guessed what everybody else's responses was going to be, because it was unanimous. And I'm keen to see how that plays out in future games. So is it often unanimous, or can we get to that elusive ending 4 card where it's mixed, where we have a group of people that have very mixed opinions on the captain and how it goes?
I think it could, because I could have, with the other two options, one of those terms felt right, but the other one didn't. So I could certainly have said the captain is strong. I could certainly have said the captain is foolish if she's overlooking these things about people, but the other half I couldn't. So I could, it wouldn't take very much to swing it that way.
To tip it.
It feels like it's got a lot of room to explore in multiple plays, yeah.
And there are like so many captains in here. And then you don't have to use the cards at all. So you could just start from what basic premise do we want to have? Are we captain of a debate team, and then go from there, or something like that? And then, like, in terms of question cards, there is we get through 12-ish in an hour, and I think we took a little bit longer, but we also took a break in the middle and had some other time. You could play this probably 10, 20, 30 times and not see the same questions, let alone the same. You'll never see the same mix of questions in the same order. So it'd be very interesting to see how that works. But yeah, thank you, everybody. This was an absolute blast.
Absolutely. That was great.
It was fun.
Yes, thank you for running it.
Yeah, very much. Thank you, Mike, for doing this.
Okay. And before I sign off and finish the recording, actually, I am going to sign off and finish the recording. And